Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. A report in USA Today, a newspaper company in the United States, has painted a frightening picture of Jamaica's tourism industry, stating that guests are being sexually assaulted in some resorts. The report says an estimated 1 American is raped each month. It quoted statistics from the U.S. State Department that 78 Americans were raped in Jamaica between 2011 and last year. Victims include a mentally handicapped woman in her 20s, an Indiana mother gang raped by 3 Cuban soccer players in a resort bathroom stall, and a 20-year-old woman raped by 2 men at a hotel. The report further speaks to 2 Detroit mothers raped at gunpoint and a Kent County teenager and her 21-year-old friend gang raped by lifeguards in a locked laundry room at the resort they were staying. U.S. Embassy reports that 12 Americans were raped in Jamaica last year, half of them inside resorts by hotel employees. The U.S. government suspects the number may be higher as sexual assaults are often underreported and victims from other countries are not included in the tally. Alleged leader of the Klansman gang, Tesha Miller, is being held under the anti-gang law. His attorney, Christopher Townsend, says he was informed last night by the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigative Branch, CTOC.
We know nothing further. That is all that the police gave us last night, and that is what they maintained this morning. So we are awaiting their next move as they get themselves together to determine which direction they're going. We are ready to approach the courts to seek his release, and we have put that in train.
Miller was held yesterday afternoon by a team from CTOC at the Lashushan Plaza in St. Andrew. Another man was also detained. Over 100 9mm rounds of ammunition were seized at a vehicular checkpoint in Kingston yesterday. Police say members of the joint force were conducting a check at the intersection of Norman Lane and Spanish Town Road. During the search of a Toyota Coaster bus, the police recovered 196 9mm rounds of ammunition in 2 boxes. No one was taken in custody in connection with the seizure. Chief Justice BRYAN SYKES says changes are coming to the budgeting and allocation of resources in the justice system. Justice Sykes says this is part of targets set out to efficiently use limited resources. TVJ's Shamela Pullen reports.
11 of 13 parish courts exceeded an international minimum benchmark of 90% for cases completed, and 7 of the 11 courts received 100%. Chief Justice BRYAN SYKES says this is as a result of using the limited resources more efficiently.
You have the corporate area criminal, it's 116%, St. Thomas at 108, Westmoreland at 105, Hanover 108, St. James 102. So all of these courts now, their case clearance rates exceeded 100%.
It is a strategy Justice Sykes says has been working, with more changes to come. He says greater monitoring of the courts across the country is needed in order to determine how resources are allocated. But first, an assessment will have to be done.
And you use all of that information to calculate the number of judges that you would need. So you can actually work out whether St. Anne needs 6 parish court judges or it needs 3. Does St. Thomas need 5 or does it need 2? So that is where we need to go to be able to have that kind of information. And that is where the government is going, or the executive arm, I should say, is going in terms of how it budgets.
He says cases that take years before going to trial usually have poor outcomes. The Chief Justice says this is something that has been seen in the court system.
The witnesses get frustrated. They don't come to court. By the time the case is tried, they can't remember the event as clearly. Yes? The lawyers questioning them get the opportunity to brand them as liars. And so they leave court with this feeling of being hard done by, justice was not served.
Justice Sykes was addressing 21 justices of the peace in St. Anne on the weekend. The JPs were given plaques in recognition of their long service. Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
There's another call this afternoon for the government to increase the number of fire stations and fire trucks in the corporate area. This after a school was destroyed by fire in St. Andrew on Monday. TVJ's Shane Masters picks up that story.
Inadequate. That's how one school board chairman has described the number of fire stations in the corporate area. His comments come as his school, Faith Beginners Preschool and Nursery, was destroyed by a fire Monday morning. Fire gutted the building, which is located at 91 Montgomery Avenue in St. Andrew, leaving 37 students and 5 teachers without a learning and teaching facility. But with the destruction of the building, a concern has been raised, that having to do with which station responds to fires at particular locations in the corporate area.
Kingston and St. Andrew is woefully inadequate in terms of fire station locations. Halfway Tree, which is 4 minutes to 5 minutes from here, had no unit to come here. Had they had that unit, it would have only been the back room where the smoke had started that they would have been able to contain. We now had to wait on a unit to come from Trenchtown, which is a little way distance away.
It's why Chairman Andrew Brown is urging the government to rethink its strategies and priorities.
We need more fire station locations in Kingston and St. Andrew. And the resources are there. And I know it is here because with the whole rollout of the Parliament project, I haven't heard anybody speculating that they don't know where the money is coming from.
But what is his suggestion?
Put the Parliament project on hold a little and get our house in order. If we cannot keep our citizens safe, creating facilities to house outsiders to come and invest here, we're putting more people at risk.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
18 children have been killed in road crashes since the start of the year. That's the latest data from the Road Safety Unit. In a recent interview with TVJ News, Director of the unit, KENUTE HARE, said investigations revealed that protective gear was not used for the children.
When we check the black box of the vehicles, we realize that in some instances, not even the parents were also wearing seatbelts, right? And the parents were executing maneuver that proved perilous.
Mr. Hare says the country is failing to protect children using different methods of transportation. He also made this appeal.
We beseech and beg the police to target motor vehicles in this endeavor and punish the drivers, not only with the Road Traffic Act, but with the Child Care and Protection Act.
An urgent appeal this afternoon for the National Works Agency to fix the deplorable roads in eastern St. Thomas. One resident, Kirk Brown, says the roads have been in a state of disrepair for some time now and is causing issues for both motorists and pedestrians.
We at the Eastern St. Thomas Taxi Association are pleading to the NAA or the relevant authority to do some patching on the Morant Bay to Trinity Main Road and also from the Morant Bay to Bath and other routes that need urgent attention. We are near and getting near to the festive season and there are going to be a lot of activities.
Jamaica will officially move to 10-digit dialing tonight. Persons will now have to dial the area code 876 followed by the last 7 digits of the phone number. The Office of Utilities Regulation says this will be the only method of dialing as of midnight. The introduction of the new area code 658 will also come into effect. In a TVJ News follow-up now, the National Works Agency NAA has responded to fishermen of Priestman's Valley in Portland to resolve an issue that was affecting their livelihoods. However, the fishermen are not pleased. Details in this report.
After 4 months of asking for help to clear a blocked riverhead at the Priestman's River in Portland, fishermen are now breathing a sigh of relief. Earlier this year, the fishermen told our news team that the blockage was affecting their livelihoods. With that, they lodged their complaints and were promised help from the Portland Municipal Corporation. That help did not come until last Thursday, when a team from the National Works Agency removed debris from the riverhead. But despite the work from the Works Agency, the fishermen are still not satisfied.
We give thanks to what happened, but really, a whole lot needs more to be done, because for almost a year now, it's a struggle to go and see a man in time. And to dig out the place a man in time, but before you go and see, you're tired. And you see the amount of things were there. And really, it would have good if them could have moved this up, because when the river come back down, if without a barrier upon the other side of it, it will go back out there.
They argued there was a lack of communication between themselves and the NWA's team, and so the work was not properly done.
Them just come with their plan and did whatever they wanted to do, and you know.
Were any say about removing the debris that
well, they said that NEPA really didn't want the stuff to be moved from off of the beach. So, and them really bring politics in it, and it really is not a politics issue. It's an issue of the people, the community, because this fishing beach generates a lot of income.
They first made this appeal in June. It has been 4 months now, and to date nothing has been done. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
And in sports, for yet another regional tournament, the Jamaica Scorpions returned to the island empty-handed, having fallen at the semi-final stage at the Super 50 Championship, which was won by the combined campuses and colleges Marooners. TVJ's Daniel Blake reports.
3 regional Super 50 tournaments, 3 different stages under head coach Robert Samuels, but the story is the same: no title. Samuels helped the team to a final in 2017, missed the last 4 by a point earlier this year, before losing to Guyana Jaguars in the semi-final last week. On the surface, the results may look good, but deep down expectations were high. But will it be 3 strikes and you're out for Samuels?
Listen, I tell people that I'm doing a job for my country. I've always done a job for my country, and if my job is based off winning championships, then it will be a little bit pressuring, and I don't want to know that my job is based off winning championships. Yes, as a coach, you want to be winning championships, but winning championships takes time. I have a 2-year or 4-year plan, and that is how you win championship, by building teams. This is just the 2nd season that I've been coaching this team.
According to Captain Nikita Miller, the team may have shot themselves in the foot, having made 4 changes to their team that started the tournament on a high. Chris Gale, Rovman Powell, Fabian Allen and O'Shane Thomas all left the Scorpion squad due to other commitments.
You know, listen, when you're in a team situation where you especially in a tournament, and you keep changing, personnel, it's a bit difficult. CC, as I spoke about, they really didn't have any changes. Guyana probably only had one change to their entire tournament. So it's kind of difficult. We had a lot of changes throughout the tournament, and it kind of offset us a bit.
Only 2 centuries were scored by Scorpion players, one from Gale and the other from Jermaine Blackwood.
It was pretty decent. I went over there with the expectation to score about somewhere 450 to 500. I fall like 100 and something behind that, make over 320 runs. Pretty decent tournament for me, but I think I could do much better.
One revelation for the Jamaican franchise throughout the tournament was Seema Gordon-Bryan, whose participation ended with the final over against the Jaguars.
Kind of a pressure situation. Well, I tried to bowl my best delivery, but it didn't work out. Well, it's a good experience. I take away some good points where I've noticed that I hitting the pitch a bit regular, and getting the ball to swing even more.
The local contingent will now turn their attention to the local elite league, with the 4-day professional cricket league their next regional assignment. Daniel Blake, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Do remember to join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.